Wow, wonderful spotlight. Great to see you here. Hopefully I did it right and you saw me the days before as well in the blue suit. Arif mentioned that it was a long journey and everybody all over the world asked me, why do you wear a blue suit? Before they asked me why a green or magenta. I mentioned to show you where I am, because we are a consultant company. I'm a consultant, but we make the difference. You see that? Look on your suit. It is black, it is gray from the man side. So to find me means we have a little bit of different approach. That doesn't mean that we make it better. That is nothing what I want to say, but we have a different approach because I found a lot of consultants, they say, okay, we can implement SAP. And then I ask them, and do you like your customers? Yes, we like the customers. And I say, I like the customers, and I love SAP, yeah? And that is the difference. So I'm very interested to learn what you need. And then I'm happy, and that is what my company and my team did since years. We want to show you exactly how flexible SAP is, and flexible in the SAP standard. And this is exactly what we want to show today. And yeah, my name, Jochen, you know that eventually, hopefully. 22 years with SAP implementation experience, starting with the R3, then over the enterprise stories until S4HANA. We did the first implementation with S4HANA 2015. Since then, since 7 years, do we have this experience. I'm proud to be here. We had very good discussions in the workshops and with you, and we are open for all of the questions. So then, Uta.
Yes, my name is Uta. I'm with 20 years now in the Treasury Department, different industries, starting actually at KPMG, but really in the company, in the Treasury company, not in the consulting. And I think we just discuss how long we learn each other or know each other. I think it's probably around about 15 years. And we are really happy that we had this project with Convista. It was a great help. Yeah, now nearly over 6 years with Berlin Airport, and really, yeah, I love the aviation industry, and I will tell you a little bit more about the airport and the industry at the moment, and all the problems we struggle with at the moment in every airport.
Yes, we prepared a small agenda. Hopefully, we have a great discussion with you in the presentation and afterwards, hopefully. So introduction a little bit, an overview over the project and the challenges, exactly, and that is what Uta will present perfectly, I think, and we learned it doing the workshops and so on. Before we start, only to give you a short overview, I do it only in 1 minute. Convista, only to show you, because some people ask me, are you a Spanish company? Yes, we have a location in Spain. We are proud to be in Barcelona as well, but you see it on the map. We have more than 1,000 employees, and we are located all over in this, I will say, business places, North America, South America, Europe, and Asia, in this area. So from a perspective, since 23 years on the market, and we do treasury structuring on the IT, not only treasury, that is always what my colleagues tell me. I'm loving SAP and loving SAP treasury because I do that since these 20 years. But Convista is very strong in the insurance, in the corporate, in the banking area. You see that here, gold partner from SAP, so we got a lot of awards in this area. One of the biggest example, we got this award for the implementation or the migration of the ECC Global Treasury Platform from Volkswagen to S4HANA. That was a 2.5-year project with all of the components, commodity risk management and hedge management, hedge accounting. So yeah, therefore we are very proud, only as a short introduction, what Convista is and in which areas we are.
Okay, thank you very much, Jochen. So I'll tell you a little bit about our Berlin airport, and I think it's well known, not only in Berlin, but all over the world. And I tell you about our painful history a little bit later. But just currently, and I think most of you really traveled by plane to come to this conference, and we all struggle due to Corona at all airports. It's also a personal problem with ground handling, with security, which really is it's tough for us, and we love the aviation industry. We had last year approximately 9.9 million passengers. This is around about 28% of what we had pre-Corona. with Tegel and Schönefeld, our old airports, which ran until 2020, we had 35.6 million passengers. So it really it's heartbreaking to see planes just parking at our airport. And also, and you probably struggled with that as well when you were at the airports, everything takes longer, security lines takes longer, getting your luggage takes longer, and this really is, everyone's not used to it anymore. And what we do at the Berlin airport, we have actually people like me in holiday times. So if you're coming in summer holidays, I'm there again with a red t-shirt. We've got a BER team really helping our passengers. Because we noticed last year that everyone forgot how to fly, where to go, that you have to go to the check-in, that you have to go to security, that you're only allowed to have a little bit of liquids in your hand luggage. It's really still a problem. So we are there, and I know other airports are doing this as well, but of course our airport's the nicest one. And it really, I mean, still I'm a little bit sad when Tegel closed, but I think we really have a nice and beautiful new infrastructure, and I really would like to welcome you all to Berlin. Just because the reason for the project, for needing the analyzer, actually comes a little bit from our really painful history. And our history really started in the 1990s, late 1990s, where they've decided, okay, we need a new airport. We had Tempelhof, we had Tegel, and we had Schönefeld, and there was a long discussion on where to put the new airport. The decision was for Schönefeld. There were some other ideas which were a little bit further away, which would have been maybe a little bit easier for us, especially regarding the noise, what we had to pay there for everyone who's living near the airport. But the decision was for Schönefeld. That's why we had to close Tegel and Tempelhof. And I think we struggled through the times of building. Like 2008, we were actually really nearly closing our financing. And then we had the financial crisis. So we closed financing in 2009, where we needed guarantees from our shareholders. Normally you only get 80% guarantees. We got 100% guarantee. And it's something that's really struggling all the way, because of course when banks once get 100%, they always want 100% guarantee. And then we struggled doing the whole part, and I know you know it, and it's really, I think we've got around about 5 billion on loans, shareholder loans, and loans from banks with guarantees. And because it really costs that much, and we really had such a big impact on everything, we really have to show and what we needed the funds for. And that really was something in the past years that was really very manual work. And we need it from the history, but we believe that we also need it for the future. And even though with COVID, we probably have a few years lack of time, but there is a master plan. We will have a new terminal as well in a few years. Probably takes a little bit longer, because we're expecting to be on the pre-COVID level in 2025, which is still a few years to go. But we definitely believe we get there. So we definitely know we need the analyzer to really have a good view on our cash flows. And I think this is just give you a short overview on our existing system landscape. We have SAP as an ERP system. We have, and it's also somewhere where we know each other from, we have as a treasury management system, as a finance suite of Serala. And until this project, we really analyzed our cash flows only there. We have the business warehouse. We have information in the business warehouse, but still the reporting was very manual. We had some queries in the analyzer, but that's about it. And so we started a project saying, okay, we need something more. And we needed it from a cash perspective, but we also needed it from external, like our shareholders wanted to see more, and also internal, our project controllers. They always looked at our suppliers and tried to analyze, okay, how much have I paid already? And then the suppliers were in different projects, but they also wanted to see, okay, how's the project going? There were different suppliers under the project. And this was all manual work. That was really one of the biggest driver, really, for this project, because we had SAP standards, but we didn't really use them very well. And it was really a high manual effort. So, and we wanted to go and use much more of the SAP standard. So that was really the scope, okay, going on the SAP standard, seeing, okay, what do we need as a really customer-specific extensions to evaluate everything. We find out, okay, what's the required data model, and I think we talked about on this conference today that I think SAP always thought, okay, with a liquidity planner, you can use all the scope. Every company has the same liquidity positions. No, that's not. It's always a big discussion. It's also always depending, and I remember that from further companies, also always depending on what the shareholders want to see and what you, as a treasurer, want to see to really manage your liquidity. So, yeah, there were quite a few challenges we had to go through, really to reduce the manual effort and really have audit proofed, because we need those external reports really for our annual report. So this was really something, made it not easy, and I think you talk about this in a minute. The analyzing part at the beginning of the project was really one of the main part, which really took quite a long time to go through. Yeah, I think, did I miss anything? I think no.
No, I think no.
So you go through.
We've seen the other points in the later slides as well. Please jump in then when I do a mistake.
Exactly.
So, because I mentioned it in the introduction, the standard of SAP. And I'm proud that a lot of the people who I can see here, they know me. I started my career with hidden treasures in SAP. Yeah, and that means, what are hidden treasures? Hidden treasures are all things in SAP which are not activated but are included. And during my experience, I saw a lot of companies buy add-ons. We know a lot of companies, they produce add-ons for SAP, so you can enhance your electronic bank statement processing, payment processing, cash management, liquidity management. So, and now Berlin Airport, they found such a vendor, and they told them, SAP cannot do that, you need that. It costs a little bit more, but you can do that. Unfortunately, the same product with a very good function, a better function, is included in the standard software in ECC. So, Uta knows me since years, and she called me, and I was happy. I started with Convista, and she told, can you tell me a question? So we have this wonderful tool from your former company, an add-on in SAP, but we have a challenge. It cannot help us in this area. Can you help us? Okay, let's do a check. We did a check. Yeah, and in this check, in this analysis, we found out some things. Because normally I say, oh, I got the information. Oh, it's from Arif. We have 1 more hour to talk about the liquidity planner. Great. So, I would do that, and it's an honor. I have to say that Marco Meyer is here from Howard & Partner. He was the first consultant who did the first implementation of the SAP liquidity planner in 2000, 2001. We developed it in 2000. So he was the first consultant, and in the former company we developed that tool. And I'm so happy to be here because I mentioned that to the solution management as well. The liquidity planner, what we see here and what we used for Berlin Airport, is a great tool. It is the heart of the ECC treasury management, and it is the heart of the cash management on HANA. We can talk later about that, but all of the drill downs, the liquidity analysis and the visibility comes out of this tool, and you have to understand this tool, and then you can use it. And what we did is the findings. So first, when we talk about liquidity planner, and all of you heard it, but I'm not sure if anybody knows exactly what a liquidity planner do. He's the bridge between operational treasury or cash management and financial accounting, and that is normally the challenge in the companies because treasury has an effort or a requirement, but they do not talk with accounting otherwise as well. So a liquidity plan can only run if you bring both parties together, because the liquidity planner is based on the financial accounting information. Yeah? It is a filter system in the background which shows you exactly where the cash flows went to. Yeah? So it's like a cash flow statement in this area, but you know it on a single item. Is it a cost center? Is it a controlling object? Is it anything else? You can differentiate. So what we find is the FI documents, yeah, we found out the information about the purchase order and the original invoice is not there. So anybody who knows the liquidity planner, it's a great tool, but when the information is not there, he cannot select anything. So that was one thing what we found. And then from the posting guarantees, we saw, oh, purchase order is missing, and we cannot specify it. So we cannot select it, we cannot drill down it. So very easy things, but you have to do it together with the accounting. So then other parts, what we found, I learned it, I should not look to this place, but my eyes are not so good, so I have to become a bit closer. No, so we analyzed this complete financial accounting area. I will make short, but what we found out is, and this is what I told then the team, the SAP liquidity planner in the standard can exactly fulfill the requirements. We have to change a little bit in the process landscape, yeah. We have to adjust a little bit. We have to do a little bit with the liquidity planner, with workarounds and so on. But we can use the liquidity planner. And that means, and that was successful, not because I wasn't working in the former company, but it was successful to show SAP standard is better than SAP add-on. So then the question, this SAP standard tool is for free, and the standard the add-on costs a little bit more. Yeah? And to help the customer with this standard tool was a pleasure. So we will see you use the tool as well because it makes sense otherwise. Yeah. But for these analytical features, it was great. So at the end, we found it out. Then we said, okay, we do adjustments. You see the measurements. So yeah, transfer of the existing customizing from the mirror product, from the add-on vendor to the standard product. So that is easy going because no much developments. Yeah. Then we have this enhancement of the standard application, SAP liquidity planner. So we go through that part. Very important was the business warehousing part because the reporting from the requirements was then exactly the part which was completely new because from the other setup, the business warehousing was not in the scope, so we put it in the scope and we realized then the analytics and the business warehousing reporting. And on the right side, and that is, I think, the main information for you, first the full coverage of the scope, what Uta mentioned, then the overcoming of the project challenges, what you mentioned as well, and then a small programming, an adaptation, yeah, to tailor-made it exactly of the needs of Berlin Airport, and that with a standard product. And the greatest thing, and we talked with Arif about that, because a lot of the people ask me, yeah, if you customize it now, what can the customer do when you go to S4HANA? That is dependent on standard and on a consultant who knows exactly what he do. But when you know how ECC works in the liquidity planner and you know how S4 works, you can do a HANA-ready customizing, and that is exactly what we did, so that we have a very, very easy migration in a later stage to the S4HANA when we do the S4HANA transformation. And that was our spirit to do that, and we are very happy that we finished it successfully in this part. Yes. And to show you a little bit more, I see from Arif we do not have time, and hopefully liquidity planner is now in the mind. So anybody who needs support, you see me in the blue suit, that is one of the reasons. You can find me, you can ask others, but normally a lot of my friends and customer colleagues tell me, normally you should wear one because it is unbelievable. We counted last year how often we are firefighters in project, do not name the name of the company and so on, but we help other not SAP, it's clear, but we help other consulting companies as well in the projects when they have special needs. We talked about the sidecar, treasury workstations, so we have a long-lasting experience with that, more than 7 years. So for us, it's not a problem. And I promised them I will not come with a blue suit. I'm talking, I'm a freelancer or whatever, but I mentioned that we want to help the customer, and that is the spirit. So for questions for the liquidity planner, and the liquidity planner is also in the S4 from the technique. I'm there, my booth is there, my colleague is with me, and afterwards. And Uta and Sabine, you are professionals in the SAP Liquidity Planner as well. So shortly, what we did, so from this landscape, what Uta mentioned, this FS2 CLM for the planning process is also in the system environment. What we did in the first step the analysis of actual payments with the Liquidity Planner, standard product in SAP, in the ECC, and with the actual payments, we create a cash flow balance for suppliers. You see that with the blue lines. Yeah, I look at it there. with the budget values and the FI line items. So we have the cost and performance calculation. All of these factors are important as well in the cash flow balance. But what is new is the correct analysis of the actual payments based on the SAP Liquidity Planner. First step. Second step was, because the tool, you can believe me, the vendor was not very happy to say we use only 50% of your solution. Yeah, and then you say, oh, we pay only 50% of the subscription or the license. But I will not know what that discussion was. But okay, we are free. We are SAP friendly. So we give our data to other systems. So we help the SAP add-on vendor to use our actuals for then the actual versus forecast deviation analysis. So very fair, I think. So, and then in the third step, that is what I mentioned, consolidation of the relevant payment data in the cash flow out status over the business warehousing with the consolidation of all of these parts. For all of the clients or SAP, when you are interested what we did, we have exact swim lanes with all of the process steps. So you can see that, we can discuss that when it is interesting. And from a project scope, we did it in 2020 because it was the aim to go live in January 1st, 2021, and it's a classical approach. It was from an assessment, from an analysis in design phase over the business blueprint phase, and you see we have a blueprint, we have then these adaptations, and we need it, and that is normally when you work with the liquidity planner related to the treasury accounting. That we have organizational process changes in the accounting structure. So you see it on this phase 2. And phase 3 is a classical approach. Phase 4, testing, go live, and it was a successful live in January.
It was successful. We would have loved to go already live in 2020. We actually finished the project March 2020, and then Corona hit us all. So that's why we actually went live only for the fiscal year to get it full on the 1st of January 2021, which was a little bit upsetting, but okay, Corona hit us all and everyone was at home trying to deal with a new situation.
But we made it. We
made it, and it's really, and especially like, and you mentioned before, it was really important to talk to our accounting department, because the analyzer, of course, only works very well if the accounting department works good, and we've got automatic of 98%, which really goes through the analyzer, which is absolutely fantastic. And our project controller are very happy because they now have really a view on the supplier, on the projects, on the contracts, each way which they need. That they've got a drill down in the business warehouse and the report, which made it easier for us because we don't have to work manual for them. We had to change a few things in between, because like you mentioned guarantees before. We had information about guarantees in SAP, but it was also only in text. And you can't really analyze text. It makes it really hard, and every accountant is putting a different text in it. So this really was a challenge in between to really set up a mind, getting them to know why we need it differently. And I think that's really one of the main lessons learned, also that you really have to involve all departments and really have to make clear what everyone needs, so everyone is really sees the needs of change.
Exactly, and that is a perfect example, because in the company, every company is completely individual, and what you post in the accounting, in the detailed structure, what you need, that is exactly what the liquidity planner can show you exactly in an analysis. So you see it exactly on your own way and on this differentiation, and that is great, because we can tailor-made all of your cash flow forecastings. We talked about hedge management, so an exposure management can create it out of this tool, or with the support of this tool, and that is very helpful. And so it's a wonderful tool in SAP. I like it, not because we were in the beginning of this product involved, but I like it since 20 years.
Yeah, and maybe just one challenge we also faced, of course, due to the long time due to Corona. Of course, we had some release updates. So in between, we thought we were finished with the project, had some release updates in between. So we always had to check this as well. And this is really something where we say, okay, that's lessons learned. We have to put that in mind as well.
Yeah. And in the beginning of this presentation, only a short moment, because that is very important for SAP and solution management, they asked me, hey, you talked about Liquidity Planner, Liquidity Analyzer. Is it in S4HANA included? Yeah. It is now included with the 2020-08, it is complete. And then they asked me, yeah, but you told me 2017 and 2015 you implemented the Liquidity Planner with a treasury workstation. And the great thing is there, you have to activate it in the ECC, in the old Liquidity Planner, transport it to the S4, use the new S4 technology to show the liquidity items, to do the deviation analysis, but the running system is the ECC, and that was the reason why we could, in the last 7 years, use the full capability of the Liquidity Planner in S4HANA, because we started with this treasury workstation. Sorry for that.
So we have a question now about that. Are you planning to use it also in SAP Analytics Cloud going forward?
Please, again.
Do you plan to use this liquidity model in SAP Analytics Cloud going forward?
For you?
We are not in the cloud at the moment,
always.
so I can't tell you right now, but we're definitely always looking for using this tool no matter what happens in the company with SAP. Yeah. So we are still far away from S4HANA, unfortunately. I think the finance department really would like to get our IT department to be a little bit quicker there. But we always had in mind, okay, we need a tool that also works for S4HANA, and not sure whether we are working in a cloud environment at the airport.
Yeah. But Uta, remember, and Sabine, the SAC, therefore is S4HANA not necessary. Yeah? So we can use it, but always the problem with the ECC is then the upload of the data. That is a little bit for government and for Berlin Airport a little bit problem. Yeah.
Good. So regarding the architectural slide, are you using TRM for trading, or you have a third party?
We actually don't really have trading, so don't need a special tool for that.
Good. So that it means whatever happens in the company, they will stay with the liquidity.
Yes.
That is a very good message. Whatever happens, that stays. So thank you very much for being here today with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah. Thank you.